Star newspaper stating explicitly that there will be no graft charges preferred against any politician. A statement that was not backed by any law, a statement that was not founded by any law that is known here in Kenya, and a statement that was indeed unconstitutional. Now, this means that the politicians or any person who is vying for a political seat has the leeway to do whatever it is they can in their power, and they will not face any corruption charges, because the Director of Public Prosecutions shall not charge them up until election. Now, while the Director of Public Prosecution, Mr. Noordin Haji, is stating that, it is no wonder if after the election period, he still extends that grace that he has awarded to the politicians. Now, what does this mean? This means that all other court cases of citizens of the Republic of Kenya facing criminal charges will carry on, except that of politicians, because the politicians who are in power because of the sovereignty of the people of Kenya will be busy campaigning. So our question today is, if he is halting prosecution of graft cases for politicians, why can't the same be afforded and accorded to other citizens of the Republic of Kenya? We should then see uniformity, that if you're not going to charge politicians who are in positions of power and have all the time in the world to come to court, then why is it that other ordinary Kenyans are going to be prosecuted because they found themselves in the wrong side of the law? This is discriminatory in nature. This is an abuse of office. This is him acting ultra vires and acting in an unconstitutional manner. Now, we were approached by the activist Charles Swiga to institute a petition before the High Court, challenging his decision not to prefer graft charges on politicians. Because at the very least, he should then say, okay, if the politicians need to focus on their campaign, then the rest of the citizens of the Republic of Kenya should also be awarded the same grace and concentrate in attending the campaigns so that they can also choose their leaders in the forthcoming general elections. This is because he's probably seeking some favorism. He's probably seeking some friendship from the people who are about to be in power, which is wrong. He is a person who is holding an office that has a lot of public interest. Why are we seeing this? Is this a prelude to his letters that he's been writing? Is this why corruption cases in courts do not proceed? It's always mention after mention because the Director of Public Prosecution is unable to proceed. So we are challenging his decision not to prefer graft charges on politicians. So does that then mean any other person who is involved with graft is going to be prosecuted, but not politicians? Yet they're the ones who are in positions of power because of our sovereignty, us as the people of, us as the Republic of Kenya. That is not only unfair, but it is not feasible, and it is not supposed to be upheld by any court of law. Now, his defense or his reasoning is that it will not harm the country for us to wait for another 5 months until the elections are done. But what if we are faced with the same predicaments that we faced in 2007? Because the people of Kenya are agitated. What if the general elections don't happen as we are all hoping that they will happen? What then happens? Does that then mean the politicians have the leeway to do whatever it is they want in their power? And people who are in positions of power have the powers to make decisions on monies that are taxpayers' monies. What is that saying about our republic? Are we being forced to be in a dictatorship where one Noordin Haji makes decisions by himself, for himself, against the citizens of the Republic of Kenya? This is not only embarrassing to the state, but it is something that requires urgent and swift action. And the worst part is, it was an exclusive interview in a nationwide circulation newspaper, The Star. It covered 3 pages. That is an abuse to the people of Kenya. It means that us here on the grassroots level, we are not being considered. They're only considering the people in power. How does that look to us, even as we are looking forward to the general election? Is this going to be another dictatorship that is coming? Yet the Republic of Kenya is a democratic state. This is not acceptable. This is illegal, it's unconstitutional, and the petitioner, Swiga, is justified for bringing this to the attention of the court. And we hope that this will actually evoke emotion. And because this is a matter of public interest, we're talking about graft cases that are talking to the tune of billions and trillions of taxpayers' money. What are we saying? Why then are we paying so much taxes? So that the people in power can have more power, so that by the time they are elected in positions of power, it is the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. What then about the people who cannot stand in power? What of the people who would wish to lead but are not politicians? What of their plight? So we are bringing the question of abuse of office, favorism, nepotism, all the issues that we've been discussing about the Director of Public Prosecutions acting in his individual capacity. This is not a directive that came by virtue of the office of the Director of Public Prosecution, but it is him himself, Mr. Noordin Haji, who went and sought for an exclusive interview to make the announcement that no graft charges will be preferred against politicians. So he should come out and defend himself this time. And for once, we are expecting to see that the courts will act in their power and in their discretion to right this wrong. Because if we continue moving at this rate, we can only fear for the general elections that are approaching. So now what we are saying is corruption. What he is saying, what Noordin Haji is saying, is corruption is legal from yesterday, from the date the article was published, up until the date of election. Because he is of the opinion that this is an international practice. Which other country, which other state in the whole world, in all the continents, makes theft of public funds legal? Where does he premise? Where does he premise? Where does he found? Where does he find this law? Where can he say that this we have borrowed from this because of this? And why is he acting in a vacuum? He is not the only person. He is not the only body who is mandated to act on the criminal justice system. We have the Director of Criminal Investigations. We have the Inspector General of Police. We have the courts. He is making decisions as though he is the president himself. And we all know that our constitution only allows immunity from criminal proceedings from a sitting president. No one else is granted that immunity. So for you to now say that politicians all over the Republic of Kenya are immune to graft charges, are we then saying that we're about to experience looting as never before? I think it is high time that we carry ourselves with the dignity of the state that we are in. The Republic of Kenya is a very beautiful country, and we cannot let things like this that are going to deteriorate the reputation and our country, because once our country is looted, then what are we saying to our future generations? What are we saying to our senior citizens? That there will be no money coming in because politicians are now looting? And this is not a fight against politicians, but it's a fight against Mr. Noordin Haji, who is now saying that politicians are immune from graft charges. So from yesterday up until the date of election, they can loot as much as they want without facing any criminal repercussions. This is wrong. This requires the attention it deserves, and this needs to be rectified effective immediately. That is all.